This is Bedtime Stories, Grownup Edition, Sins of the Father, Part 2. Donovan is missing, not of his own accord. 2 weeks have passed since Waz and Selima's wedding, but in order to tell you how Donovan went missing, I've got to finish telling you what happened on that yacht. When we left off, Portia was executing the plan that she and Jeff had come up with, and they were preparing themselves for Donovan not to be a willing participant. And as the yacht headed back to the port of Miami, the wedding guests were all preparing to return to their normal lives. Everyone but the family. No one would give Selima an update, and she was getting a little frustrated. She walked up to the Queen Mother and said, "My Bella, why am I being left out?" The Queen Mother said, "Because this is your special day, and we don't need your help to handle this." Selima said, "But if I'm going to be the head," the Queen Mother said, "But you're not the head. I am, and I got it. You focus on your husband and going on your honeymoon. It should be wrapped up before you get back." Selima said, "Uncle Nigel is missing, and you think I'm going to be able to focus on my honeymoon?" The Queen Mother said, "Yes, I do. Your husband will be expecting you to." When Samuel walked up, he said, "And so am I. I spent good money for that honeymoon. And Charlotte and I are going on ours too. Don't worry, we'll see as much or as little of one another as you prefer." Samuel had booked both couples an all-inclusive trip to the Maldives. They'd be gone for 2 weeks. He and Wise both planned to keep themselves and their wives off the grid. Selima said, "Daddy, you got my mind blown over here. You really going away for 2 weeks and you're not going to worry about what's going on stateside?" Samuel said, "Absolutely. I am no longer the head of this family, and I am enjoying my retirement and my new bride. And if things get crucial, both Marley and True know how to reach us." And Wise walked up and said, "Come on now, big gangster. I've been looking for you everywhere. You and I should be back in our cabin, getting dressed and ready to get off of this yacht and headed to the airport so that we can start our honeymoon. Why you in here interrupting their meeting?" Selima said, "'Cause they won't tell me what's going on." Wise said, "If you needed to know, they let you know. You don't need to know. Let's go." Selima said, "Okay, Zaddy." Then she and Wise headed to their cabin. Samuel told the Queen Mother, "Y'all keep me posted if you need anything. And I mean anything. Don't hesitate to call me." The Queen Mother said, "Like I told Selima, I got this. Go enjoy your honeymoon." When Samuel left to go find Charlotte, the Queen Mother turned to everyone who was left. Manny, Idra, their right hands, True, Stephanie, Marley, and the generals, and Lorenzo, and said, "The safe house is all ready for our arrival. When this boat docks, we'll all head there. But first, we'll wait for Maribel to debark and for that watch to be on the move." True asked, "Where's Donovan?" And Manny said, "I believe he and Maribel are finally having that conversation." True asked, "Is Donovan in on the plans?" The Queen Mother said, "No. He's taking Melissa and Michael back to Texas, but we'll keep him posted." When Q told Donovan about taking all of the children to Disney World after the wedding, Donovan asked him if he could take baby Bella and baby Chance with him because Donovan needed to get back to Texas to handle some important business. He had a huge project for a local city that was underway, and he had a meeting that he needed to get back to town for. The night before, during the engagement party, Q sent Michael and Melissa to Donovan to ask him if it was okay for them to ride back with him. He'd seen the mask and he saw Donovan say yes. So in Q and Angela's cabin, Q just finished running down the rules to his oldest children. Q said, "Now when this boat docks, y'all go straight to your Uncle D. Don't be playing around. And I don't know what y'all up to, but no funny stuff. You hear me?" Michael and Melissa looked at each other and they both said, "We got it, Dad." And Angela said, "And make sure y'all call when y'all land." Michael said, "All right, Mom." Q said, "Go change y'all clothes and make sure y'all got everything. Put all y'all stuff in y'all luggage and head straight to your Uncle D's cabin. You hear me?" Michael and Melissa in unison said, "Yes, sir." When the two left, Angela said, "What's with the speech? What's going on?" Q said, "I just got a feeling that them kids up to something, and I don't know what it is." In Phil and Rennie's room, Phil just finished asking Rennie, "So you ain't got to be back to school for like 3 days, right?" Rennie said, "That's right." "Why?" Phil said, "'Cause I figured me and you could get away for a couple of days, spend some time together, get to know each other better. Rennie said, I don't really know. Phil said, come on now. You're not going to give me a chance to redeem myself? You think I don't know you wasn't satisfied last night? Rennie said, listen, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, but that was whack. Phil said, you got to understand, it was my first time out the gate in a while. It was my first time drinking in a while, too, because when I'm on a job, I don't drink like that. So put all that together and all that fun you got going on, and I wasn't at my best. But you give me these couple of days, I promise I'll make it up to you. Rennie said, listen, I don't want to waste your time, Phil, so let me just tell you. All that sweet, soft, seductive, that's not my thing. And I'm not really big on telling men what I like and how I like it either. You either get it or you don't. Phil said, let me guess. You like for men to take charge, grab you, slap you up a little bit. We find out you like to be tied up. Rennie said, now you talking my language. Phil said, we dock in less than an hour. That's not enough time for me to make it worth your while. Give me these couple of days and let me show you what I'm working with. Rennie said, do not threaten me with a good time and then fall flat, because I'm going to be mad. Phil said, I feel that, but I'm going to make it up to you. I promise. And in LJ and Regina's cabin, LJ is not speaking to Regina. Regina said, so you really mad at me for what I said? We about to go to the happiest place on earth, and you over there looking sour in the face? Let me tell you something. You want to live. I want you to live. But if the best you're going to do is juices and berries, it ain't going to work out. So I got to be thinking about my future. I got 3 kids to raise. I'm not Mom Brenda. I do not plan to be a widow and single the rest of my life. And I don't plan to raise my children alone like your mother did. I'm going to be heartbroken, I'm going to grieve, and I'm going to mourn. But at some point, I'm going to have to live my life. Because I can't go with you. You want me to just go on and pretend like everything is fine. Like this is normal. And you don't even want to talk about treatment. LJ said, can we just take our kids to Disney World and show them a good time? And table all of this till we get back home? I don't want to do this right now. Regina said, fine, LJ. And in Stephanie and Corey's cabin, Corey just finished saying, do you expect to be back in Texas for Sunday service? Stephanie said, I don't really know for sure why. Corey said, well, there's something that we're having at church on Sunday that I think you should be there to see. I know you haven't been to church for a while, but I'd really like for you to be there. Stephanie said, well, if I'm back, I'll be there. Corey smiled and Stephanie said, I think we're going to be okay. What you think? Corey said, I think so too. And in True and Big Wood's cabin, Big Wood is packing up his stuff. He is ready to head back to Texas. He doesn't know for sure if True's coming back to the cabin before they dock, but he doesn't plan to be there if she does. The little toast that she gave during the reception rubbed him the wrong way, and he's decided that they need some space so that they can both get their heads on straight. When it was time for the toast, Big Wood gave his toast, and he said, today I had the honor of being the best man to my boy Wise, but in actuality, me and Slim go back to Mr. Softy ice cream trucks and fire hydrants in the summertime. Growing up, she was my big brother's little sister. His cousin, but more like a sister. And he was my best friend, but more like a brother. She grew to be an intelligent, beautiful, strong woman who I respected and admired. And it was clear that it was going to take a special kind of man to be able to tame her. But she was a firecracker. But she's still a firecracker. And when I met Wise, he showed interest in her. I knew that he was just the kind of man who could tame her. They were both entering new chapters of their lives and careers. And neither of them were looking for anybody or anything serious. But it was very clear the first time I saw the two together that it was going to be serious. There's nothing like a woman who can help a man be soft when he needs to be. And nothing like a man who can help a woman be soft when she needs to be. But what I appreciate most about these two being together is that they know how to let one another just be themselves. This morning, they let the sun rise on a new life and celebrated the last sunset of their singleness. Now, I'm not a married man, but if I could give you any advice, I would say, don't let the sun set on your wrath. And remember that if you get to see another sunrise, that's another chance to forgive, to choose love again, and to be for and with one another. All of the things that you saw in one another when you decided to go on this journey together. Take care of one another. Love each other. Keep making one another smile. And when it was Stephanie's turn to give her toast as the matron of honor, she surprisingly kept it cute because she was clearly in a great mood now that she and Pastor Corey had reunited. But when it was True's turn, she was clearly a little salty. She talked about how difficult it was to keep the surprise from her now best friend, Selena. She talked about not necessarily liking Selena when they first met. She did not mention Selena's previous involvement with her man, though. And she ended her toast, which was initially humorous and loving, by saying, I pray that one day we all find the kind of love that you two share, as if she hadn't already found it. And in Maribel's cabin, her and Donovan are having a very painful conversation. When Donovan finished telling Maribel about what Portia had done to him, about his plans to meet with Portia and handle her and Jeff once and for all, Donovan said, talk to me, sunshine. It's clear and obvious that something is up with you. Maribel said, I get now why my father wanted me to talk to you so badly. And I don't even know how to tell you this, but the day that everybody went to Vegas for Samuel and Charlotte's bachelor and bachelorette parties and their wedding the following day, I was at your mother's spa. Someone had my massage upgraded. And while I was soaking in the tub and I had the eye mask on, that someone paid me a visit. And I thought it was you. Come to find out, it was Jeff. And he did some things that I would have never let him do if I knew it was him. Donovan asked, are you telling me that he violated you? And you thought that I would? Maribel said, no, I didn't think you would violate me. I didn't know I was being violated, Donovan. I honestly believed it was you. I thought you were trying to surprise me, do something sweet and romantic, exciting. It would have never crossed my mind that it was anybody other than you. When I found out it was him, I also found out he drugged me before and did some things to me, and I did some things to him, and he's been sending me text messages, and then Maribel lost it. Donovan ran over to Maribel and wrapped his arms around her and said, it's okay, calm down. You can tell me everything, and it's okay. You do know that this is not your fault, right? Maribel said, if I just would have taken the eye mask off, I would have seen that it wasn't you. And Donovan said, baby, calm down. It's not your fault. You shouldn't have had to take the eye mask off because no one should have been touching you without your permission. I am going to handle that nigga. Do you understand? I'm going to handle that nigga. Maribel said, but what about the things that he sent in the text message? And he's saying that he got a video and he's going to send the video. Donovan said, don't nobody give a damn about him in no video. Tell me something. Did you sleep with him of your own free will? Maribel said, no, and I don't have any reason to believe that I actually had intercourse with him at all. Donovan said, did you want to sleep with him? Maribel said, actually, no, never crossed my mind. Donovan said, I wouldn't care if you slept with 50 niggas. Let's just be honest. I was on one, and I was doing the absolute most. And you had the right to do whatever you wanted to do, but whoever you wanted to do it with. As a man, do I ever want to look at another man and know that he been with my woman? No. But you made it clear you're not my woman. But I'm going to ask you a question, and I need you to tell me the truth. Did you want that to be me at the spa? Not just did you think it was me. Did you want it to be me? When Maribel said yes, Donovan covered her lips and a passionate kiss. And when he was able to pull himself away, he said, "I love you, Maribel, and I'm gonna make that nigga pay for putting hands on you without your permission. And the fact that he did doesn't change how I feel about you. And no, I'm a damn freak. I like it any and every way I can get it. But I don't do sensory deprivation. I don't do blindfolds. And I don't do bondage. I've found a way to make peace with what happened to Anya. But the pain of that experience will be with me forever. A man took advantage of the fact that my sister couldn't hear. So sensory deprivation of any kind is a turnoff for me. I'm not blindfolding nobody and I don't want to be blindfolded. I'm not tying nobody up and I don't want to be tied up. If that's a fantasy of yours, I can't fulfill it. But if you let me handle this stuff with Portia and Jeff and come back and have a real chance, Maribel, I'll date you. Take you out, I'll buy you flowers, sing you songs, write you poems, run you bubble baths, and rub your feet, girl. If you let me, I'll marry you. And then I'll do whatever else you want me to do. Whatever you let me do, I'll do it all." Maribel said, "The only thing that I heard out of everything you just said is that you're going to date me and buy me flowers? For real?" Donovan just started laughing because a few seasons ago, Donovan was adamant that that was not his thing. He was not at all chivalrous. And Maribel said, "There's something else. Jeff's been sending me these text messages saying that when this boat docks, I need to get in a car that's parked at the dock and follow some instructions. I guess I need to go and meet him somewhere. And I've agreed to do it." Donovan said, "Oh, hell no. You're not meeting that nigga nowhere. You just told me that he SA'd you on more than one occasion. Nah, I'm not all right with that." Maribel said, "It's okay. My father knows all about it. Lorenzo gave me this watch. The watch is going to track me and everything. He's threatening to send those pictures and videos to everybody I know." Donovan said, "But I told you, them pictures and videos don't matter. I can understand why they matter to you, but they don't matter in the big scheme of things. He's a criminal, and they're just evidence of the crimes that he committed. And sending them to people is also a crime." Maribel said, "I know, but they also think that he has Uncle Nigel, remember? And Amir has had no luck finding him. Amir is Nigel's right-hand man." Donovan said, "All right, cool. Well, I'm going with you. I'll hide in the trunk." Maribel said, "That's not going to work. He's tracking everybody's necklaces." Donovan said, "You keep me posted. Do you understand? You keep me posted every step of the way. Agreed?" Maribel said, "As long as you keep me posted every step of the way." Donovan said, "I could do that. Can I ask you something else, though?" Maribel said, "Yes." Donovan said, "I don't even know if this is breaking my abstinence, but can I just taste Big Garfield one time before we get off this boat?" And when Maribel said yes, Donovan went for broke. They were about an hour from docking, and Donovan spent that whole hour licking Maribel from the rooter to the tutor. She was moaning and groaning, and so was he. He was licking and lapping and sucking and slurping so good, Maribel was crawling all over that bed. At one point, her entire torso was hanging off the edge of the bed, while Donovan had his arms wrapped around her legs and his face attached to her uterus like a suction cup. He was performing like he was trying to get a check from OnlyFans and sopping everything Maribel was letting out like she was a biscuit and gravy. Maribel knew that Donovan was going to be a skilled lover, but she had no idea that he was going to put it down like that. And all she could do was hope that if she was walking funny when he was done, everybody would attribute that to sea legs, because she knew she wasn't going to be no more good.